Hi, I'm Mike, owner of The In Groove in Phoenix, Arizona. Today I'm going to do a video showing you guys about a collection that recently came into the store. I'll tell you a little bit about the story of how it came into the store, and I'll show it to you. This is kind of not a huge collection, but rather very small. So on Saturday, I'm the only buyer in the store because the normal buyer for Saturday was at the Taylor Swift concert. So I'm there by myself. I'm in the back. I'm doing ultrasonic cleanings for people from the website. And get a call, come up, can you look at a collection? No problem. I love looking at new records. They told me he has some CDs. I'm less excited about that. I get up there, he goes, I got some records, I got some CDs. I got a box of MoFi records, though. Oh, you got a box of MoFi records? Thinking to myself, as long as this isn't, a box of Janis Joplin one-steps, this is probably going to be pretty good, financially. So go out to his car, and I'm looking, and crappy CDs, crappy records. Get to the MoFi box, and here's the MoFi box. And I do a little looking in the box, and I'm like, all white sleeves, huh? These don't look like MoFi records. They're in generic white sleeves. Well, then I start looking, and I'm like, these are test pressings. These are original 1980s Mobile Fidelity test pressings. And then, so internally in my mind, I do the Macaulay Culkin Home Alone face. When I got done doing that, told him, okay, let's pull around to the side of the building. Let's get these unlooked and let's take a look. See, the thing about these test pressings, almost none of them were marked, so I didn't really know what they were. Did a little bit of digging. I talked to him a little bit, and he told me, this is so-and-so's record. She came in and sold you stuff before. And I was like, oh, okay, because now a woman contacted me a while ago, over a year ago, and she told me, I have test pressings, I've got Mobile Fidelity records, I've got the number 9 Beatles Mobile Fidelity box set collection. I was like, wow, ooh, how? She's like, my husband worked at MoFi. I'm like, all right. So she came in, and this was like a year ago. She brought the box. I got this about a year ago from her, the MoFi box. She brought the box in, and sure enough, she had number 9, number 9, number 9, number 9. You could see it's number 9. Number 9. So she has the number 9 box. I'm thinking to myself, damn, if you're going to have one of these boxes, you probably want number 1, right? But if you're not going to have number 1, when it comes to a Beatle collectible, you want number 9 because it's number 9. So, long story short, I bought this from her. I bought some of the other MoFi records that she had, some other records in the collection, but she only had one test pressing. There was no test pressing. She was talking about all these test pressings. Anyways, a year later, she sends this gentleman into the store with this box. Unbelievable. So right out the jump, I noticed this. Carole King, MFSL 1046, A1B1. MFSL 1046, A1B1 doesn't exist. This is an unreleased Carole King Simple Things test pressing. On the original JVC Super Vinyl label, pre-Mobile Fidelity, unplayed. And yeah, unreleased test pressings. I collect unreleased MoFi records. I have about 10 of them. There's not a ton of them out there, but I have about 10 of them. I did not have this one. Got a Benson in the collection. Got God, I'm gonna mind lapse at the moment. Not Breezin', his other one, Give Me the Night. Have Give Me the Night test pressing, never released. I'm kind of showing you too, by the way. I'm going to show you all the gas up front, and then I'll show you kind of some of the lesser titles once we get burning through this box. Stevie Nicks, Belladonna, No sticker on this one. It just says Stevie Nicks. Although, kind of looks like, kind of has her handwriting almost. I had a Stevie Nicks autograph come in not too long ago. It kind of looks similar to that. Stevie Nicks Belladonna test pressing. And I love it. They're all stamped sample. So now a large chunk of these I'm actually going to put on the website for the gold members. You know, we have a pre-owned section that's exclusive to gold members, and I show you guys every week in the new arrival videos the stuff that I put on there. I'm going to offer a lot of these up on the gold membership. So you could stay tuned for that. That'll be in future new arrival videos. I do that at the end. Here's a cool one. Jethro Tull Aqualung. That is the more common mobile Fidelity test pressing, not for sale, after the JVC. This is the A4B4. So the fact that we've got cut notes on it, these I feel like I'm going to want to do a little more research on these, because some of these might actually be unreleased cuts. So we've got, yeah, this is an A4B4. The Stevie Nicks. That's an A3 B5. That typically represents the attempt at cutting. So, not always, but normally if it's like an A3 in this case, I'm going to assume that it's a third try. A B5 would be a fifth try on that lacquer. So yeah, and you know, this probably belonged, and I never really got the details from the gentleman that worked about the gentleman that worked at MoFi. I'm guessing a lot of people did, but this person probably had something to do with quality control. The fact that he had various test pressings and then signifying lacquer numbers probably was doing testing of some kind. That's my guess. This one is cool. David Bowie. Let's Dance. It's using an old sleeve, 1-091. They scratched it out and put 83, 083, which is David Bowie. This actually was released. So this is actually a B1 A2. Stan Richter's initials in the dead wax. And the coolest thing about this one, not only is it David Bowie, Let's Dance is an extremely hard test pressing to find, but not only is it extremely hard to find and desirable, but I got two. Let's Dance ×2. Okay, now we're getting into some good, some not as good. This is Emerson, Lake and Palmer A1B1 1-021. I'll try to burn through this as quickly as possible. This is just such a cool collection. It's something that I just wanted to show. This is not something you see every day. As an audiophile record store, somebody who specializes in audiophile records, people don't just casually walk into the store with a box of mobile Fidelity test pressings. It is very uncommon, as in it does never happen. It never happens. I don't even know what this is. We might have some more unreleased things in here. This could be part of a twofer. This could be MFSL 20982. This, I'm almost positive, is unreleased. So there's three of them in here. 3 sound effects records. One's titled Brad. That could be, you know, maybe. Could be the old, yeah, I'm not sure. So this is a sound effects record. This is MFSL 2-765. I could not find this lacquer information anywhere on Discogs. You play it, this is a straight sound effects record, mostly like a train. Like in MoFi made records like this in the past. Just not with this dead wax information. But side B is nothing more than like trains going by at nighttime. Like you hear a train coming, passes by, and they just keep recording, and you hear the train go off in the distance. Yeah, so there's 3 copies of, they call it sound effects, FX. which, you know, that's what it was. It was straight sound effects. Funky noises and whatnot on side 1. So let's see. We've got, and you'll see why a lot of these are going to go on. I'll keep some of them. David Bowie test pressing. I'll keep the simple things, Carole King. But some of these I just don't need so many. This is the Firebird Suite. Carmen. This is a box set. So this is disc 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, and 1. So I've got 2 sets here, assuming this is a 3-disc set, which I feel like it was 4, but I'd have to double check. So I got 2 disc 1, 2s, and 3s. MFSL 1-119. I wrote most of these down. A lot of these are like, you know, some of the less desirable MoFi titles, some of the classical titles, but I gotta tell you, a lot of those are the rarest titles. Like, I've never even seen this Lena Horne MoFi record. This was a double. Lena Horne. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, some of these might actually be all just one side. But yeah, look, there's a bag of MoFi test pressings. Got a bag of Lena Horne here for you guys. So it's going to require a little bit of sleuthing on my part, doing a little testing, make sure the dead wax fully, you know, matches. Because theoretically, if it's an alternate lacquer number, it's an unreleased cut, so it's going to have more value. MFSL 1-095, so 95, yeah, don't know what this is, but we've got 1, 2, 3, and oh my god, we got 2 that aren't marked. That's 195 as well. They are marked, they're just marked on the other side, in the sleeve backwards. Show you guys some of these. There's some more MFSL's 1-095. I really wish MFSL 1-095, because I've got 10, 15 copies of it, was like Dark Side of the Moon. It's not, unfortunately. No white sleeves on those. They just came bagged up. Modern Jazz Quartet, MFSL 1-090. KG and Django. Maybe some Django Reinhardt. That could be the Django. Oh yeah, this is Grappelli and Kessel doing Django Reinhardt. That was an officially released title. Looks like we got 1, 2, 3 copies of that in here. Sergio 118. This is A1. Sergio Mendes is actually a really good MoFi. Brazil 66. I actually enjoy listening to that. Tony Bennett and Bill Evans. MFSL. This is a 117. It's a lot of this kind of stuff. Red nickels. I mean, but this is not an easy MoFi to find. It says there's 5 of them in here, but there's not. There's 1. So I'm guessing as a test pressing, it got out to people. All right, we're getting back into the sleeve stuff. Charlie Bird at the Gate. Distant Hills, Oregon. Charlie Bird at the Gate once again. Country Joe McDonald. This is kind of nice because it's actually got the jacket with it, but it is a white label test pressing. This will go good with my train test pressing. We've got the Power and the Majesty. Yeah, see, this is a different. It's not this. This is not the railroad. There's trains, I believe, on this as well, but this is a different record. Yeah, steam locomotives. Yeah, Brad Miller. There's, I mean, I really think that might have been slated for Brad, that other test pressing. Earl Klug. Late Night Guitars. Now, there were some cool test pressings that I really wish were in here because they go for insane amount of money, and I would have had to pay a whole lot more for them. But there was a complete run of Beatles UHQRs done as test pressings. Not just Sgt. Pepper, which was officially released, but there was a full run of all of their albums released as UHQRs. The Crusaders. That's an earlier one because that's on JVC. We've got Plus Judy, Liza Minnelli and Judy Garland. This is 517. There was also actually in this collection some like Frank Sinatra commercial discs with no jacket. So it's like a half a Frank Sinatra box set was in here as well. Carmen Burana. This was a box set, right? Simon Fussell -1 506. I feel like this was a box originally. Let's see, Simon Fussell 1-507. This is B5, B6. Could be an alternate lacquer. 2092. Don't know what that is. MFSL 1-507A2. Don't know what that one is. We got the planets. Oh, see, so here we clearly have, one of these is unreleased because we've got right here, right? We've got an A10 B8, right? And then we have an A1 B1. More than likely, both of these weren't released. I can see that being the case on a more heavily in-demand title. This is A10 B8 again, and here we got another one. Actually, I've got a whole different run. This would be kind of fun. Mike can figure out, do some detective work and figure out the different cut choices on all these different Holster planets. That's an A9. This is TYS's 6th, A5, and that's an A5 as well. There's multiple copies of this. We've got Ravel's Bolero. So now this is actually specified as an A6, B6, right? Here's another copy of Bolero. That's an A2 right there I'm looking at. Let's see what this one is. So this is an A1. This is an A1, B1. So this is a first cut, A1, right? So now we've got the next one here, which is an A2. And then we've got an A6. This actually has the A2 circled on this one. I wonder if it's A2, B1, to where they just recut the A side. I'm curious of how this video's good. Oh, that's just a blank side. There's nothing on it. So they literally just did a test press of A2. So they recut the one side, I guess, see if they liked it better. So that's a single-sided Bolero. A2, A2. There's like 3 copies of A2. Yeah, that's single-sided. This one's just titled Ludwig. So I'm guessing Beethoven 2-5162. Okay, here we go. So this next copy, this says D7. Lovely, lovely Ludwig van. Then we've got BE 9th. That says Alex. ROM Russia 1-517. So yeah, I always like these really interesting and cool collections that come in. I definitely like to catalog these just because I go back on these in the future, in the past. You know, in the future, I'll go back in the past and look through stuff that's come in over the years. Because you know, as a record store, we all have our cool stories, and you tell them. This is fun for me because I can actually share them with people, get similar stories in the comments, but it's always fresh in my, like right now it's fresh in my head. It was a couple days ago, except for that Beatles box. But it's fresh in my head. I remember I can tell the story. And I go back and I listen, you know, 5 years from now you watch it and you're like, oh man, yeah, that was great. That was, but it was just like a real nonchalant deal. Went through it, came up with an offer, a couple phone calls were made, took, man, they took the offer-ish after I rounded up a little more. But yeah, it was just such a really cool experience. And I'm excited because a lot of this stuff, normally stuff that's really off the wall and bizarre like this, I generally keep. But this I'm going to actually get to share with a lot of you guys because I don't need 7 copies of one record. Now, if there's differences, that could be a reason to keep things, but I don't need, 7 copies of the same exact test pressing. So I'll be able to spread that out a little bit. All right, guys, check us out online at theedengroove.com. Until next time.